Hi Brahmas. In this video, we will show you how to use one of our ebook databases called Gale Ebooks. Beginning in the library's website, let's go to databases A through Z. By clicking here, you are seeing all of our databases listed in alphabetical order. But since we're looking for the ebook databases, we can click on database types and look for the attribute ebooks. And here we can see the 4 databases that specialize on electronic or digital books. The one that I'm trying to show you is this one called Gale Ebooks. By clicking here, you're going to open up our database. But if you're not on campus, you need to put your student ID number and your month and date of birth as your passcode. Once you have logged in, you should see the front page of this database that looks like this. Gale Ebooks is one of our databases for electronic books, but more specifically for reference sources, because this database includes a lot of academic encyclopedias and dictionaries and other reference sources that you would find just for factual, objective information, like a dictionary. So let's say that you are writing a paper on socialism or communism because you notice that your textbook had an excerpt from the Communist Manifesto and you have chosen that particular essay for your research assignment. So this is a great database to try to learn about a big topic such as communism in a way that you can get a source that is somewhat objective and academic and therefore trustworthy. So let's begin by typing in the simplest keyword of our topic, communism. This database, like I said, will try to give you articles that summarize a big topic such as communism so that you can easily understand it and also have a source that you can cite that is academic and credible. So let's say that I wanted to familiarize myself with this concept before writing about the Communist Manifesto from my textbook. So I can see the first article is published in 1968. That's a little old, but it's from the Encyclopedia of the Social Sciences. And then the second article is from 2002. That's a little bit better. And it's for political theories for students. That seems kind of easy to process. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that one. So once again, this is one article from one of our databases, but this article was published in a publication titled Political Theories for Students. So I could use this article as one of my sources. And if I wanted to cite it, I can easily click on Cite up here to get the MLA 8th citation style or the APA citation style for this one article. That way I can keep track of my sources at the end of my research paper. So let's say that I wanted to save this so that I can read it later. We recommend for you to email yourself all of your sources that you find on our databases. And in this database, you want to click on the Send To button with the paper plane icon. And by clicking on email, this database will send you a link to come back to this article, the full text of the article in the body of the email, or maybe as a PDF. And it will also send you in the email the MLA citation for this article by default. Now, before we send this article to ourselves, let's make sure that it's really going to help us out in our research. So I can see that in this article, there's an overview, there's a history of this concept, theory in depth, theory in action, analysis and critical response. This looks like a great article for me, especially since I don't know much about communism. I mean, I have an idea, but I need to have a source that will back me up and a source that is academic that I can cite in my works cited. So after skimming through this article, I can see that it will be quite useful. So I'm happy to have found this. And yes, I would say I'm going to email it to myself so that I can read it later and find the sentences or quotations that I will use in my paper. Now, on the top of the article, on the right-hand side, you're also going to see related articles, such as socialism and Marxism. So if you did want to learn a little bit more about socialism as opposed to communism, you could start opening up these articles on the right. And maybe these keywords will help you brainstorm about the concepts that you might be focusing on your research, or it might help you think about the research question that you're trying to explore in this assignment. So we found one good article about communism, but if we recall our assignment, I have chosen the text Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx for my research paper. So maybe I should try to see if this database has something on the Communist Manifesto. And sure enough, as I'm typing it, one suggested query is the text itself. Even though it doesn't say Karl Marx, I'm pretty sure that this is the query for the Communist Manifesto. Or I could have just typed Communist Manifesto without clicking on the suggested query. But either way, here are the results. And we can see that the first article is from the Encyclopedia of Labor History from 2004. That's not bad at all. That's not too old. And then the second result is Communism, Europe from the New Dictionary of the History of Ideas. That could be good, but that doesn't seem to be exactly about the Communist Manifesto, which is an essay by Karl Marx. So if I scroll down again, the Communist Manifesto, Human and Civil Rights, Essential Primary Sources. Yes, this does seem like a good source because we know that the essay itself by Karl Marx is a primary source in my research. So I can easily open this article up. Or even this first one, they both seem rather good. So this is the one from Human and Civil Rights, Essential Primary Sources. And this contains an introduction about the source, what the primary source is all about, the significance, and it's a very short article. It ended right here. I can easily get the MLA 8th citation at the bottom or the APA citation of this article. And if I wanted to read it later, I can also just click on the send to icon, click email, provide any working email address, and that way I can keep track of my sources. And just for fun, let's look at the right side where they suggest related topics in case we encounter another keyword or concept that we hadn't thought about before that might be useful for our research paper. Now let's say that you wanted something about Karl Marx himself, the author. We can go back to our search bar and type Karl Marx. And this database is great for these types of sources because we know that this database specializes on encyclopedias and dictionaries and other reference sources. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get articles such as Dictionary of Scientific Biography or Karl Marx from the Encyclopedia of the Social Sciences, the Encyclopedia of World Biography, The Age of Industry and Empire, okay. Ethics, Science and Technology, the Encyclopedia of Religion. So at this point, we can see that all of these articles are about Karl Marx. But my purpose is to learn a little bit about his philosophy. So maybe I want something like, well, what about this one? The Encyclopedia of Philosophy. They have an article of Karl Marx, and it's from 2006, so not too old. And this article, once again, it's coming from the Encyclopedia of Philosophy, but it's just about Karl Marx. So we should be able to find some information about his life and maybe some of the big themes that covered his career, his historical significance, a little bit of his theories, of course, communism, yes. And this article ended quite quickly. It's not that very long. But it can still help us to begin our understanding not only of this author, but of the text that he wrote